I'm Edward Anderson, and I am the host, moderator, and all-around nice guy of the Hey Ed YouTube channel. And for this presentation, I really need this disclaimer this time. I am not a financial advisor, and I don't play one on TV. Everything I talk about in this presentation is meant for educational and entertainment purposes only. Okay, this is going to be a pretty meaty video, but extremely important. I really hope that you decide to watch it all the way through. And I hope that you decide to share it with other people. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. And please give this video a like, because it'll help the algorithm a lot with these videos and for my channel. Okay, so I had to make notes for this one because there's so much that I want to say, and I try to respect your time. So I want to be as concise and keep my rambling to a minimum. So forgive me if I'm editing a lot so I can consult my notes and come back to this. We are in a moment in time in history right now. The upcoming financial crisis is going to overwhelm the entire world, and it is going to happen, and the signs are there. And if you just read the news and pay a little attention, you will see it. You want to have to take my word for anything that I'm about to tell you. But what do you do about it? Before this video is over, I'm going to show you how you can not only survive this calamity, but you can actually prosper in it if you know what to do. And I'm going to show you how to do it. All right, so let's get right to it. Okay, the first thing I want to talk to you about is this little insidious law that most people do not know about, but it is going to directly affect you. And that's called the bail-in law. Okay, so a small little corrupt organization that really governs the global financial cabal is a little outfit headquartered out of Basel, Switzerland, called the Bank for International Settlements. And they came up with this insidious law that is EU policy right now, and it's been adopted by Canada, and it is in the process of being adopted here in the United States. They're called bail-in laws. Now, what is the genesis of the bail-in laws? All right, this is very critical, and please pay attention to this because it is frightening. And if you think the numbers are staggering, you are absolutely right. There is an asset class called derivatives. And for any of you who've seen the movie, The Big Short, you know what I'm talking about. And the derivatives industry, derivatives are basically a bet mostly on the direction of interest rates. And right now there are, get this, about $1.2 quadrillion worth of derivatives worldwide. That's right, 1.2 quadrillion. I mean, I'm not even sure I could put enough zeros on the page. It's a staggering amount of money. The New York banks alone, the major New York banks on Wall Street, have over $270 trillion of derivatives on the books. Now, if this bubble ever breaks, and I think it's inevitable, it is going to happen, you're going to see major banks wiped out. Okay, so what happens in that case? Well, the last time around, 2008, 2009, during that crisis, the federal government and the taxpayer came to the rescue with what they call bailouts. Well, the political appetite for that is not here anymore. So the powers to be came up with another angle, another way to protect the banks. And they called them bail-in laws. And what these laws basically give banks the right to do is that when they are struggling, they have the right to go into your bank account and steal your money. They have another word for it, but that's what I call it. They have the right to steal your money. So what they do is you'll wake up one day and you'll see that your bank account is the money in your account is either gone or a large chunk of it is gone, and they converted your money into shares of their company. So now you own shares in a failing bank. You think they can't do it? They can do it. It's being written into law as part of the Dodd-Frank bill. It is there. Now, the FDIC got together with the Bank of England to write this beautiful little memo that no one knows about that outlines how the bail-in laws would work. When the next financial crisis comes along and banks start to fail, your bank will be able to confiscate the money in your account so they can buy shares in their bank. All right, that's what's going to happen. So bail-in laws, yeah, is it scary? Darn right it is. Another reason to start thinking about getting your money out of the banking system. Really, that is the real theme of mine on this channel. If you watch any of my other videos, how important it is to start extracting yourself from the legacy financial system, the banks. And I've talked to you about how to do that. I'm going to talk to you some more about that during this video. Another reason why you're going to want to start getting your money out of your bank is, let's look to the north here. Now, I'm in Minnesota in America, so Canada is my neighbor to the north. And Canada, it's a first world country, okay? And they've got laws that you would think are there to protect their citizens. But a couple of days ago, after the government decided to enact their Emergency Powers Act, which was meant in times of war, right? And they decided to use that act for the first time in history. And what do they use it on? They're using it on their own citizens, okay? And they're giving the banks carte blanche to freeze people's accounts and take money out of their accounts to be used to pay fees and pay penalties and such. So when they announced that, people started heading to the banks to get their money out of the bank, and they should have. So the other night, 5 of the top Canadian banks, all at once, all at the same time, had a glitch. And there was a freeze. People couldn't access their account for several hours. People couldn't do any kind of wiring transactions. They were all rejected. People couldn't get money out of their ATMs, out of the banks. So this is the kind of thing that we're up against. Now, this is Canada, not very far away from us. And the political parties, there's no real sunlight between the political parties in Canada and our ruling class at the moment here in America. So they could absolutely do it here. So take a moment to imagine not being able to access your bank account. You couldn't do anything. You can't wire anything. You can't pull any money out of your bank. You can't pay any bills. You think it can't happen? It absolutely can happen. Ask the Canadians. As a matter of fact, it's happened in our own country before. So runs do happen, and runs on the bank are going to happen. So you have to start preparing for that right now. So what do? I'll show you. I'll give you an idea. Okay. Okay. This is what I've been doing. Okay. I've been doing this, taking money out, and I've been doing this, and I've been doing this. So you want to get your monies out of the bank. So that's the first step you can do. That's the easiest step you can do. Now I'll tell you, today when I went in to do another big withdrawal out of my bank, the cashier was asking me, "Are you sure you want to take that much out? Can we talk you into just taking half of it out now and do more later on?" I said, "No, thank you." And manager came over and wanted me to fill out a form. I said, "No, thank you. I'll just take my money." Look, I happen to love my bank. It's a regional bank here. It's a really good bank. But even there, now I'm sure the teller probably had marching orders from on top when people start making large cash withdrawals, that they discourage them from doing that. But my bank happens to be a very nice bank, a very good bank, a very polite bank. But most banks, the larger banks, the larger the bank, the more bureaucratic it is, the more they don't want to hear it, the more they're going to stick to rules. But the point is, if they're starting to grouse about pulling money out now, when there isn't any particular financial crisis, imagine what's going to happen when the financial crisis actually appears. It is going to be very hard to get your money out of the bank. Okay, so now let's move on to another topic, interest rates. The St. Louis Federal Reserve president the other day quoted as saying that interest rates must go up, and he's in a hurry to raise rates. And he was quoted as saying, he said that we are now at more risk than we have been in a generation, and this could get out of control. That is a quote. So we have now, out of the blue, a shift in policy, finally, at the Federal Reserve. They are now going to be tightening the money supply. They're going to be raising rates for the first time in a long time. There's a whole generation of people out there who've never seen interest rates go up. People for a long time have been living in a fantasy world. The markets should not be where they are. The only reason why the markets are where they are is because of artificially deflated interest rates, manipulation. I mean, what should be happening is the Federal Reserve should allow the marketplace to decide where interest rates should be. But what is going to be the consequence of raising rates? All right, so let's talk about this for a second, because this is An important one because we're already starting to feel, the effects of it. Okay, so right now we're seeing rising rates, rising mortgage rates, shortages, inflation at the gas pump, inflation everywhere, right? Now, right now, the official inflation rate is at around 7%, but really, those are government numbers. The inflation rate is actually much, much higher than that. Anybody who's gone to the grocery store to try to buy hamburger or steaks or fill up their gas tank, they know it's a lot more than 7%. Okay, so after a decade more of really bad financial policy by the Federal Reserve, they're now starting to pay the price. Okay, well, we're going to end up paying the price. Okay, so the Federal Reserve has really kind of painted itself into a pretty ugly corner. On the one hand, if they decide not to pursue higher interest rates and they go back to their old habits of providing sugar and financial heroin to the markets, and they decide to ramp up that printing machine more, they're going to devalue the currency to an extent that we are going to see hyperinflation that the likes of Venezuela and Zimbabwe. That's what we're going to see if they decide to go back to the QE ways. They're just going to print our money into oblivion, okay, and it's going to be worthless. On the other hand, let's say that they do adopt a rate hike policy and start raising rates. Well, if they go too far there, they could easily throw us into a depression. Now, ironically, that is the proper thing to do. That is the Federal Reserve's job, is to keep control on inflation. And the way you fight inflation, the primary tool is with interest rates. Now, what they really should be doing is letting the free market determine where interest rates go. But because of the amount of printing that's been going on for so many years, and they're really god-awful policies by powers to be, now the effects are going to be that if they do raise rates and they don't do it just right, we will be thrown into another Great Depression. So what are the consequences coming up here? What's the hangover going to look like? Which assets are going to be hurt? Well, stock market is going to collapse. Bond market, commodities markets, currency markets, they're all going to plummet. The one class that will probably benefit from it will be, your precious metals, your gold and your silver. These guys. Okay, you can't see it because of the glare, but these guys, all right, physical gold and silver, they will benefit. Now, what's going to happen to cryptos? Now, cryptos always accentuate the current, theme in the market. Okay, so in good markets, cryptos outperform to the upside, and in bad markets, they outperform to the downside. Because I do expect the market to really crater here in the very near future, I would expect cryptos to really get clobbered. Now, the ones that will hold up the best, of course, will be your bellwethers, right? Your Bitcoins and your Ethereums. They will go down less than the others, but all of your altcoins and other cryptos, they're really going to be taken out to the woodshed. But I've reduced my exposure to maybe 2% of what it used to be. Now, don't get me wrong. I actually love cryptos, and I think that cryptos, in the end of all this, is going to be a saving grace for our society and for civilization in general. But I think with what's coming up here in the very near future, I think it's going to take a short to medium term hit. That's why I am positioning myself to take advantage for when that happens, so that I can go do some bargain hunting. But I think there's going to be a lot of pain for people who are holding on to cryptos between now and then. Now, one thing you want to have your antenna up if you are in the crypto space is that I've been hearing rumors for a few days now that as soon as next week, there could be an executive order coming out of the White House to regulate the cryptocurrency industry. That's going to be kind of a shock. And so there is going to be an initial very sharp downward reaction. Then we have to wait and see, well, what exactly do they mean? And then maybe it'll turn out to be a really good buying opportunity. But ahead of that, I do not want, now, of course, it's rumors, right? And remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not predicting anything. This is just one man's opinion and all the rest of it, right? But I've heard it from kind of people that I respect. So I do think the rumors have a good chance of panning out. And if that were to happen, we could see a real swoon in the crypto market. Okay, so I know I've jumped around a little bit because there are some important themes that I wanted to delve into, and I could delve into any one of those themes in depth. But in the spirit of not holding you for too long, I thought that I would just try to cover as many topics as I could in a short period of time. All right, now I want to tell you what I think you should be trying to do. The first thing you want to do is you want to start extracting your cash from the bank. Now that would be a response to possible and probable bank freezes. You don't want to find yourself not being able to get money out of your bank. Now, I think it's probably a good idea to have some money in the bank, for immediate stuff, for convenience sake, for paying bills and whatever. But outside of that, you should be extracting yourself. Now, fiat currencies are a depreciating asset, regardless of where they are, whether they're sitting in your bank account or they're in your hands. It's a depreciating asset. It is not going to be doing you any good. You got to find a way to make that money grow for you. Now, I do think you want to have some cash on hand for emergencies in case we do head into that depression. You do want to have some cash on hand. Just know that it is a depreciating asset. A better alternative to that would be something like this, like a gold or silver. That would be a better, because in this kind of environment, they will benefit. Now, I am historically not a fan of precious metals. They've been dead money now for years, for decades. But I think looking at the charts and given everything that's going on, I think they could have a really nice return for you. So it is a really good insurance policy. So that's where you can get some real solid peace of mind growth, a real good place to park your cash rather than just having dollar bills that's losing buying power every day. But better yet, now I'm in a program where I get 3x every time I put something into it. 3x every time. So there I'm getting nice passive income reliably. Now, I've been in that program for 10 months now. I've gotten my fun every single day from it. So I can vouch for it. It's an absolutely spectacular program. It is the single best idea that I can give you, because if you have passive recurring income that you can count on, it's going to be there every single day, 7 days a week, including holidays, that makes you bulletproof to the market. That is the single best thing that you can do, is develop passive recurring income that doesn't go away, that you can count on. That way you don't care what the markets do. And actually, this is how you can prosper, establish some passive recurring income, get yourself out of the banks. Now, just so you know, the program that I'm in, it is in the crypto space, but I'm only in crypto for a short period of time. What I do is when I'm ready to make a withdrawal out of the program, I convert it into a crypto, which I quickly convert into fiat currencies, and then I do whatever I want with that. Pay bills, I buy gold, I put it into other income generating projects, but I'm never putting my own money at risk when I'm doing that, right? Because that money is coming in. I didn't work for that money, really. That's why they call it passive recurring income. It's money that just comes in every day from other sources without me having to work for it. It just comes in, and then I can put it toward whatever I want. Now, I can't talk about that program specifically in a YouTube format because there are rules against it, but I can certainly send you all the information you want on it. If you contact me via email down below, I can send you information on it, and I'll be happy to talk with you by phone or by Zoom and explain it to you. So let me wrap up by saying we are in a moment in time. There's a lot of stuff going on, and you need to get educated and you need to take steps. Now, I don't care whether you're just some person who's living, month to month, or you are wealthy person and you just want to protect your assets, because you know what? Inflation is going to reduce the value of your fiat currencies as well. Okay. I've got a program here, 3x every time I do something. 3x, 3x, 3x. I don't know whether this video will make any sense until after I look at it. Please leave some comments so I can get an idea whether I'm hitting the mark with you guys. Let me know if there are any topics you want me to cover that I didn't cover. And please give my video a like and share it, if you don't mind, with other people that you think would find it useful. And if you want to learn more about that special program that I'm in, send me an email and I'll be happy to fill you in on everything. Edward Anderson signing out.
Copy that.